All right, it's your Love Music, Love Live station, Smooth 98.1, 15 minutes past 8 a.m. on a beautiful Monday morning. Time to talk sports as we get into the locker room. My name is Ayokunmi Record. Great to have you on the ride this morning as we get to take a look at some of the sporting stories that have been making the rounds over the weekend. So much to talk about, so much to actually sink our teeth into. And of course, I'm definitely not alone on this one because I have the one and only amazing Tega with me on this ride. Very good morning to you, Tega. Great to have you once again in the locker room.
Great morning to you. What's the question we're asking this morning? Do you have
Do you have
fuel?
fuel? That's
Do you have
that's the question.
fuel?
That's the question of the
Does
morning. Telling
does your
you,
club have fuel?
mine has. Mine has. That's for sure.
No, your club had fuel on Friday. The jury is still out. Don't be talking too much. All right, good morning to everybody. So that's it. We'll be talking about the EPL. Started on Friday with Manchester United against Fulham. So we'll touch a little bit on that. We'll also talk about the big one in England, which was Chelsea versus Manchester City. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. In fact, we all watched the match, so there's no analysis coming from me. I think we'll take analysis from everybody else. And then we'll touch on the big four with Real Madrid. What happened? Ah, ah, we bought Thierry Robaka, a whole prince of France, and still dropped 2 points on the first match day in the La Liga title defense. We'll touch on all of that and more when we come back into the locker room. But before we do anything else, Aya, could you tell us how can we be a part of the locker room this morning, especially for the Chelsea Manchester City story? Give them
All
all
right.
the numbers, all,
All right. To
including
be
your
a
own
part
personal number.
to be part of the locker room this morning, brought to you by Visa. You can send your messages into us on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981. The studio line is 0201 89981. 0201 89981. That's the number you can call us on. You can also join us on YouTube, where we are streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Those are the ways that you can be a part of the locker room this morning. So without further ado, let me just run through some of the headlines that we're going to be taking a look at this morning. Schwantek loses to Sabalenka in WTA Cincinnati semis. In the aftermath of the Paris Olympics flop, Igali says Nigeria not serious to succeed in sports. Enzo Maresca understands Chelsea frustration as axed Sterling seeks clarity. Mbappe and Madrid denied in Mallorca draw in their opening game. Antonio Conte apologizes for Napoli's opening day debacle at Verona. It truly was a debacle at Verona. Xerxes relishes unbelievable Man United debut, and let's write some beautiful chapters. That's Arsenal closing in on Man City. Are they closing in on Man City? We'll wait to find out. And Barcelona begin life under new boss Hansi Flick with a win at Valencia in La Liga. All right, Tega, let's head back to the top and, of course, begin with some tennis here, where Arina Sabalenka defeated world number one Iga Swiatek 6-3, 6-3 on Sunday to reach the final of the WTA and ATP Cincinnati Open, advancing on her 10th match points. As you always say, Ted, the women's circuit is the Wild Wild West.
Yes, it is Wild Wild West, but this is world number one versus world number two. And with the way Iga Swiatek has been performing from the Olympics, really, especially when she lost that semi-final and had to play the third place or well the bronze medal match, all the way even to this tournament, she'd been struggling pretty much. Against Mirandreva, she was this close to being knocked out, but I think she used her experience over the rising star. But with Sabalenka knows how to play her, and Sabalenka has the power. You see, the beauty about Iga Swiatek, or the curiosity about Iga Swiatek, is that for a player that is so dominant in tennis and
Mm.
a player that has been dominant in recent years, she doesn't have a big serve. Every player I know that has been dominant on any circuit, whether it's the men or the women's side, they've had at least a good serve. Nadal had one of the poorest serves, but even his serves was more consistent.
Mm.
Iga Swiatek doesn't have a good serve. You don't know if she's going to serve you great or she's going to serve. So for her to be dominant with that kind of serve, because that's the base of your game, it is really a curious one. And so, of course, when she struggled against Sabalenka, and Sabalenka, she's a power hitter. She'd be coming at you with everything. There's a reason why she shrieks, why she's hitting the ball. She's using all the power in her body. So it was not even it was so disconcerting to see at least the world number one perform that way against the world number two. They've played several times this year. Iga Swiatek was the one winning, but it's been a tightly contested matchup. Yesterday wasn't. It was clearly dominant by Sabalenka for obvious reasons. So form going into the US Open is worrying a bit for Iga Swiatek. But what can we say on that? That's on the women's side. On the men's side last night, it was Sasha Zverev taking on Yannick Sinner. And Yannick Sinner had been struggling with a hip injury. In fact, it showed up in the match last night, but somehow he managed to go to 3 sets. Not just 3 sets, 2 tiebreakers against Sasha Zverev, and he came out top. So he'll be playing the finals today against Francis Tiafoe, and that's what it is at Cincinnati. But all of this is just the build up to the U.S. Open, the last Grand Slam of the year.
Indeed, the last Grand Slam of the year, and of course, all the tennis bigwigs are definitely going to want to end the year on a very, very high note. It's looking good for Sabalenka right now, but will that translate to victory at the US Open? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. All right, let's switch gears here and talk about Nigerian sports, specifically the aftermath of the Paris Olympics. I'll borrow a word from that other story, debacle. Yes. And the former president of the AFN, that's the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Mr. Dan Ingram, urged the federal government to overhaul sports administration and called for a sound management of athletes. Now, adding his voice to Mr. Ingram's lamentation on the decline in Nigeria's sports is Dr. Daniel Igali, current president of the country's wrestling federation and an Olympic gold medalist. And he says Nigeria is not serious to succeed in sports.
Well, yeah, he's saying that despite all the fact that we talk about, there was 12 million invested in the sport, 12 billion, sorry, 12 billion invested in at the Olympics alone, and that Nigeria is a sporting nation. Nigeria isn't really, and he's not wrong. It's not having the talent. It's not showing up at events with enough numbers of talents participating in several events. It is the build up to all of those. What do we do when nobody's watching the Olympics? What do we do in the 4 years between the last Olympics and the next Olympics? What do we do in between World Cups and World Championships? He said, and those are the things that ultimately determine whether you're successful at the Olympics. And I say this all the time. Let me tell you, you remember when I was talking about the US not coming with Atinmu because she fell during the US qualifier?
Right.
They don't care what your name is. The form of the athlete in the build-up of the Olympics is what determines that you make the Olympic team. The other day the NOC thought that the AFN thought that they were throwing Favour Ofuli under the bus, saying that, oh, she didn't come for the African Games trials, and then she had the nerve to also not come for the African Games. I was like, hold on. If somebody didn't show up for the African Games trials, why should they show up for the games proper? So what of all the athletes that participated at the trials and made it through? You will now drop them because Favour Ofuli is an elite athlete. So it is these things that are mind-boggling. At the end of the day, Nigeria is so result-oriented that we don't look at the process in which things are done.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, if you look in every other area, that's what it is. Nobody cares about how you got there. They care about the fact that you are there. Oh, he's wealthy. How did he make his wealth? Nobody cares. It's just like he's wealthy. And it tends to be something that is in sports. How can you insist on an athlete showing up for an event that they didn't come to the qualifier of? And so ultimately, that it just reveals the true state of Nigeria. Is the preparation that is a problem. In the build up to those events, they invest little or nothing, not time, not effort, not competitions, not money. And then when the Olympics come, you bring out a whopping 12 billion. You can't buy a medal with that now. As it has been proven.
Clearly,
So he's
clearly
right.
we couldn't.
He, he couldn't. Right, that's what it is. The Nigeria not being prepared. That's what he means when he says that is what they do in the off season that determines. Now, speaking of the Olympics, let's talk about one of the partners of the Olympics and the Paralympics, which is coming up at the end of this month. Now, Visa is on the global stage championing inclusivity and culture. Remember, the Visa is the official technology payment partner of the Olympics and the Paralympics, which is upcoming. Now,
True.
the Olympics had been a way to celebrate sports as a global experience, sportsmanship, and national pride. Now, Visa, the exclusive digital payment partner, has been connecting the power of sports, music, art, and culture across various markets. Beyond digital payments, Visa has shown a commitment to curating experiences that champion global talents, like they did at the Olympics, inclusivity, like they're doing at the Paralympics, and the power of small steps. Team
Mm.
Visa is an example of that. Remember, Team Visa is the program that takes a cohort of Olympic and Paralympic athletes with diverse representation from more than 60 countries and 40 sports. And they picked two Nigerians, Toby Amuso from the Olympics and Goodness Nwachukwu from the Paralympics. And so you'll be seeing Goodness Nwachukwu at the Team Visa um, on Team Visa at the Paralympics when it starts later on this month. So to stay tuned for Team Visa athletes at the Paralympic Games and all the other fantastic, wonderful offerings they have with discounts of flights, hotels, and various summer experiences. Remember to go to visa.com.ng. I've said it again, visa.com.ng. All right. And on that note, let's delve into the football that happened this weekend. What
Right,
is
Tega.
happening to the Fantastic Four?
But the Fantastic Four seem to have lost their powers in the game against Mallorca as Kylian Mbappe was left frustrated on his Real Madrid La Liga debut on Sunday. As a very resilient Real Mallorca held the Spanish and European champions to a 1-1 draw in their title defense opener. I mean, coming off the back of that Super Cup win, everyone thought, okay, Mbappe, everybody good to go.
La Liga, you're finished. Yeah, but that's
Mallorca.
not to be. I was going to say, you see, with when I tell people, cup competitions are completely different. There's a finality to it that makes you play a certain way. But when you come to the league, you don't know who you meet. Nobody is a respecter of anybody. And Mallorca, more than anything, deserved to get away from that game with a point. In fact, they could have gotten away with more than a point if they had a little more quality up front. But it was beautiful that they tried to match, Real Madrid tactics for tactics, not necessarily player for player or tackle for tackle, but tactics for tactics. They used what they had to the best of their ability. And so they defend solidly. And then on the counter, they were very expressive and explosive. And it did give Real Madrid some troubles. In fact, some heroic defending from Rudiger and some fantastic goalkeeping from Thibaut Courtois earlier on in the match actually kept Real Madrid in the game. But this is what is going to happen with the Fantastic Four. As brilliant as the individuals are, and as much as they seem to be able to be connecting because of the quality of players that they are, they still need to get on the same rhythm. Is that rhythm that is lacking, and that rhythm will take some time. It may not take as long a time as it will take other teams because these are quality players we're talking about. But it will take
True.
some time, and some days it will be on, some days it will be off. Yesterday it was on. I think it was a brilliant defending of Mallorca that really stopped it. And at some point, Ancelotti was just like, you know what? Maybe I need to take off some part of the Fantastic Four So he took off Vinicius Junior, he took off Jude Bellingham. He left Kylian Mbappe, the new signing, for 90 minutes. That showed me exactly the, how would I put it, the hierarchy on the pyramid of players. Mbappe played 90 minutes yesterday. Vinicius Junior was subbed. It was interesting to see that.
Mbappe's a new boy, so just stretch your legs,
Stretch your
used to
legs. Let's see how you can do. But yeah, it was a tough one. But all they need is really rhythm, and they're not going to perform every day. Remember when Barcelona had the fantastic four of Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o, and Lionel Messi? Remember how that turned out? It wasn't always beautiful, but when it clicked well. So Real Madrid is going to have that moment. Let's not flog them. But to start the first match of the title defense with a draw against Mallorca is not something anybody could have envisaged, not even them.
True that. And of course, just to cut Madrid a little bit of slack here, just a little bit. I mean, going to Mallorca hasn't always been the best game for them. I mean, since 2019, it's been a Mallorca win, a Madrid win, a Mallorca win, a Madrid win, and then a draw yesterday. So it's always a mixed bag.
I know, but that was a fantastic team. That team is too fantastic. If you bring out a front four of Jude Bellingham, Mbappe, and Vinicius Junior with Rodrigo, better be scoring plenty goals. That's what I'm saying.
We're going to talk more football, but we'll take a quick breather here. When we come back in, it's all about what went down in the Premier League over the weekend. This is the Locker Room on Smooth 98.1, brought to you by Visa. Don't go anywhere.
I'm going to go and sleep.
You can't fit. you are here to 8:45.
Come and see if you drag me. Also are there messages? Can we come back with some Premier League messages before we take the first Premier League story?
Okay, yeah.
Because I think we should open the phone lines. Are the phone lines openable?
Yeah.
Let's open the phone lines for Chelsea. Yeah, let's open the phone lines for Chelsea, Man City. Okay. So let's come back with the story, then read one or two messages while we wait for the phone lines. All right?
Okay, do that.
Now on Smooth 98.1 every Wednesday from 11 a.m.
All right, we're still deep in the locker room on a Monday morning on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. My name is Ayokunmi Kekiriakun. Tega also with me on this ride. Been talking sports news this morning. So many stories been making the rounds over the weekend. And we are going to get back into that right now. But before I do that, just to let you know, you can be a part of the show by sending your thoughts into us on WhatsApp on 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981. YouTube, you can find us on the live stream at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. I'm going to open up the phone lines in a couple of seconds, but we'll come back in just to give you clarity as to where we are and where we're going. We're talking about Premier League football that happened over the weekend, and specifically talking about the Manchester City Chelsea game that took place at Stamford Bridge. Now, Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca said it is normal for players to be upset at being left out after Raheem Sterling's camp issued a statement following his exclusion for Sunday's 2-0 defeat to Manchester City. Now, after another chaotic transfer window, Chelsea's squad has bloated to 43 players with over 50 on the club's books, including those on loan. I mean, Chilwell was also left out. Disasi was also left out. I mean, it is just something else. It's like Balogun Markets at Chelsea.
I think what it is such a huge deal because there are reports saying that Maresca has a certain number of players that he is taking, and that the rest of them he's training with those ones, and then the rest of them are training under some other assistant coach and technical advisor. So can you imagine that you are one of the players that are, or you're some of the players that are not training with the main coach himself? How this goes? You are in limbo. So that one can even cause another discord. But to have a player like Raheem Sterling is not a small player by any. I mean, forget all your personal reservations about Raheem Sterling. We're talking of a Premier League winner here. We're talking of a first-team player with the English national team here. we're not talking of anybody. We're talking of a record signing at some point for Manchester City. And then you now have him just cut off. And he didn't say it was for injury. He said it was for technical reasons. So the team is asking, what's the technical reason? Did the wire cut somewhere? What is the technical reason that you dropped such a player from the team? So yes, they are right to ask this question, but all of this is distraction and can cause even more problems for what Maresca is trying to do on the pitch. And it didn't make it any easier that the first match of the season for Chelsea was against defending champion. Sorry, let me correct that. Was against four-time defending champion Manchester City. It was not an easy day, but I don't think Chelsea was completely outplayed like some people thought they would be.
I agree.
I think, yeah, they weren't completely outplayed. They had moments where they could have gotten back into the game. Unfortunately, they just didn't. The difference between, I would say, Chelsea and Manchester City is that Manchester City plotted and took the chances that fell to them, and Chelsea just didn't. I think that was the difference on the day. And so let's hear your thoughts concerning Manchester City versus Chelsea at the end of the day. What are your thoughts of how Chelsea have fared and how you think they're going to do in the season, just based off of that match? Are you hopeful for the season, or are you just disappointed that it's going to be same old, same old? The numbers to send your messages through, sorry, don't send your messages. Call us direct. Let's hear your voice.
Yes, the
number is the numbers to call, huh?
The number to call is 0201 4489 981. 0201 4489 981. That is the studio line. Give us a call. Share your thoughts with us on Chelsea against Manchester City. Your thoughts on that game and how Chelsea probably, from your opinion, will do throughout the rest of the season. Let's take a couple of messages that have come in before the calls start rolling in. On YouTube, Padre Pio, I never get it right, says, let me start with the Chelsea situation. So you buy everything available and you cannot manage a draw at the bridge? Poch wasn't the issue. For Madrid, I already said Mbappe has to score goals weekly. LK Adirogba says, EPL is back and Chelsea is still a calamity. I didn't know 80% of the people subbed in, and I'm a diehard Chelsea fan. Know this and know peace. American ownership of the football club is a disaster. Truth be told, some of those players that came in, I was like, who are you?
Chelsea is a supermarket now.
On to WhatsApp. This is from Zicolo. Zicolo says, Tega, it's funny how Tottenham and Leicester City are far above Chelsea on the table without any of their players even touching the ball yet. Wow, shots being fired already. Chelsea should brace up for enough flogging this season. Arsenal still need a striker to compete with Manchester City. Emeka says, yesterday I was dashing home hoping to watch the Chelsea versus Manchester City game, but I couldn't make it in time. However, on entering my street and seeing how peaceful and quiet the area was, immediately I knew Chelsea lost. We need this every weekend. Long may it continue.
I kid you not.
I love banter era.
See,
I love it so much.
I missed it so much. Okay, so want to hear your voice again? Give them the number to call. The studio number to call is
0201 4489 981. If you can't get through on the studio, like, you can give me a call on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number, once again, is 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981 is the WhatsApp number. So if you can't get through on the studio line, you can give me a call on WhatsApp. Looking forward to taking your calls. All right, let me take this first call rolling in. Hello, good morning.
Is that you?
Yes, this is Aya. That is
This is Dr. Moses.
Dr. Moses. Welcome.
He that God wants to destroy the fourth man. Chelsea on the path of destruction. They start their destiny. They start recklessly in the past. You can go back to Villas-Boas, to Scolari and Co. Even to Pochettino. So I want to tell you, the coach that will have the honor of taking him on relegation. That's one. For Madrid, I told you, it's not been fair. Ordinary Mallorca, they know to do.
It's still one game now, Dr. Moses.
It's one game. Dr. Moses, your blood is hot this Monday morning, but it's good for the hustle for the week.
All right, thanks for sharing your thoughts, Dr. Moses. Keep those thoughts coming in. 0201 4489 981. That's the studio line. You can give me a call on WhatsApp as well if the studio line is stressing you out. 0809 440 981. Dr. Moses said he's looking forward to the coach that will take Chelsea on that relegation route. I don't think it can be that bad for them. I mean, it could be well because a brand new team, brand new manager, it could be a difficult thing for them. But there were signs in that game yesterday. For being honest, there actually
There
were
were
signs
signs, yes.
in
There were
that game.
signs in the game.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Anyone on the other side of that? Hello? Please do also call back 0201 4489 981 is the studio line. Let's try this again. Hello, good morning. Very good morning to you. Who's talking to us?
Yeah, Emmanuel from Lagos.
Hi, Emmanuel. Welcome.
I think Chelsea made it. At first, when they started Pochettino, I was like, is there a problem? Because they were struggling. Pochettino was struggling. Then towards the end of last season, he got master of that team. And started winning. He won like maybe 9 straight games or something. Why start him at that point when he already understood the thing? Now you're bringing someone that you're starting all over again with about 1 million players. They're headed for destruction, definitely.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Emmanuel. I mean, Tega, a number of people echoed those thoughts that, I mean, Poch towards the end of the season seemed to have found, the
yes, a
recipe for
rhythm
that
and the
amazing
right
soup.
click. Yeah. So
So
just
it's just
leave him.
confusing.
It's
Let's take
Let's
another
take one
call
more
here.
call.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the locker room. Who's talking to us? Chris from Ojo. All right, Chris, share your thoughts.
Yeah, I was wondering what was the coach that do the winning championship. I want to win the Premier League winning things. I want six of the last Premier League, especially the European. And you only why the coach that do the winning championship. So I didn't know why they are not. For me, all the things I think this was not they're not really good. What that they are missing there, one of the charismatic things that they will be. They manage to as well. I don't know. Let's be honest. Yes, I think they're not that bad. I hope we don't make it for
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Chris says Chelsea actually isn't that bad when you look at things. Tega, should we run through WhatsApp or take one more story really quickly here?
Let's take one more story quickly.
All right, let's talk about Antonio Conte, who has apologized to Napoli fans after Sunday's 3-0 humiliation at Verona in his first Serie A match in charge, while last season's surprise package Bologna were held to a 1-1 draw by Udinese. Not a good start for Conte by any stretch of the imagination.
Not a good start for anybody. Not AC Milan, not Inter Milan, but Conte's own is worse because he has already started with the drama. After the match, he was like, that if you think that it was a fluke, that Napoli finished where they finished last season, that now you know it's not a fluke. He went on and on. It may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, it may take 3 years to be able to come back into form. I was like, oh God, this will just won the season.
Now. You know his playbook.
Yeah, so he's come up with all the drama and season just started. But it's a tough one. Especially for Napoli, the way that they fell apart yesterday, it wasn't just the scoreline, it was the entire performance. So I understand his disappointment to an extent, but I don't understand why the long rant on the first match of the day. Tough one for them. They really have to sort out that striker's position. Can they get Lukaku in? Or should they stick with Victor Osimhen? What is the real problem? Because at this point in time, you're leaving 2 good strikers in limbo. And either one will solve your problem. So, look, Victor Osimhen has not yet left the club. He has only said he wants to leave. But as it is, the club will still need to pay him salary at the end of the month. So he might as well play the guy.
Exactly.
Might as well just play him.
Let him earn his money.
Do you understand? It's a tough one for the club, but his complaints already, the drama is already getting too much. And I think this is what the problem with Conte is. You don't just get football, you get a soap opera.
That is true. Let's wrap up with a couple of messages. A number actually have come through. Let me take some from YouTube. This is from Uche Nwokoye. It says the Chelsea owner left the game early to go and buy an attacker, midfielder, and defend. The team needs time.
It was the way the commentator said. It was the way the commentator said. Boli has seen enough.
And he just left. He just
left. He was
my goodness. All right, back to WhatsApp. Tayo says game week 1 and Chelsea with their 43 players couldn't handle Manchester City with the way Bolly left mid-match. He wasn't mid-match, it was close to the end. I let calm down. I'm sure he went to look for available strikers to buy after watching Nicholas Jackson. Holland took that Cucurella song personal. Chelsea are going to witness a lot of poor player management. Thank God Man United Ajax 2.0 won their match. Otherwise, Cantona would have displayed more than what he did. At least for this weekend, I am banter free. Big E from K2 says, so the EPL has started and all the big teams won from the Gunners, Man United, Liverpool, until the gods of banter were searching who will be used as a scapegoat. And he saw a blue team from London called Chelsea. Chelsea needs to clear off the load of players. Olumide from Lekki says 42 players. Chelsea, no, now. How can you say human trafficking? Calm down now.
Calm down.
Okay, calm down. Fred says both Milan clubs drew and Napoli lost. My old lady must win tonight and get to the top of the table. Forza, that's Fred. Doki. And finally, Mohammed says, Tega, all your studio lines are bad. No, they are not. We took calls and we gave the WhatsApp line to also call as well, Mohammed. Maybe you didn't hear when we called those. This was someone who could get his tactics. Pot was bad, forget it. This was someone who could get his tactics, or who couldn't, I guess you mean, get his team selection and tactics right. Anyway, nobody today. Nobody today. Chelsea will get plenty players or sacking coaches. That is their way to succeed. Thank you for your messages.
All
very,
right.
very interesting this morning.
Yes, very interesting. We'll continue again on Wednesday. Thank you for sending your messages to WhatsApp, for streaming on YouTube, and for tuning in to Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. Till I come your way again on Wednesday, it's bye for now.
All right, thank you so much, Tega, as always, for bringing all that energy. The locker room, as Tega said, we'll be back on Wednesday, 8:15 on Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 92.1. But keep it tuned. Lagos Talks comes up at 9 and more great music to brighten up your Monday morning.